The Adventure of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain, Longman Simplified English Series, read by Thitima Phansri. Chapter 2. The Fence is Whitewashed. Saturday morning has come and all the world was bright and fresh. There was a song in every heart, cheerfulness in every face, and spring in every step. Tom appeared on the pavement with a bucket of whitewash and a long handled brush. He regarded the fence thoughtfully, and his heart was filled with despair. 30 yards of fence 9 feet high. It seemed to him that life was not worth living and that existence was only a burden. Sighing, he dipped his brush into the bucket and passed it along the topmost board. Repeated the operation. Did it again. Compared the trifling whitewash strip with the immensity of unwhitewashed fence and sat down on the box, discouraged. Jim came dancing out at the gate with a bucket, singing. Before this, bringing the water from the town pump has always been hateful work in Tom's opinion. But now it did not seem so. He remembered that there was company at the pump. Boys and girls were over there, waiting their turn, resting, exchanging, pledging, recalling, fighting, and fooling about. He remembered that, although the pump was only 150 yards away, Jim never got back with a bucket of water in less than an hour. Even the somebody generally had to go after him. "I say, Jim," said Tom, "I'll fetch the water if you'll whitewash a bit." Jim shook his head. "I can't, Master Tom. The mystery told me not to stay foolish about with anyone." "Oh, never mind what she said, Jim. Get me the bucket." "I won't be a minute, she won't know." "Oh, I done, Master Tom. She would tear my head off. She would really. She never hurt anybody. She just gave them a little slap, and who cares about that? Jim, I'll give you a marble." Jim was only human. This temptation was too much for him. He put down the bucket and took the marble. In another minute he was flying down the street with the bucket. Tom was whitewashing energetically, and Aunt Polly was returning to the house with a slipper in her hand and a triumphant gleam in her eye. But Tom's energy did not last. He began to think of the fun he had planned for this day. Soon he thought the free boy would come hurrying along on all sorts of delightful trips, and they would laugh at him and having to work. The very thought of it burned him like fire. He got out and examined his worldly wealth. It consists of bits of toys, marble and rubbish, and was not enough to buy even half an hour of pure freedom. At this dark and hopeless moment he has an idea, a glorious idea. He took the brush and went calmly to work. Precisely Ben Roger, whose mockery he had been dreading most, came inside. In his hand there was a fine apple. Tom went on whitewashing and paid no attention to him. Ben stared a moment and then said, "Hi, are you in trouble, aren't you?" There was no answer. Tom regarded his last touch with the eye of an artist. Then he gave his brush another gentle sweep and inspected the result as before. Ben came nearer. Tom mouth watered for the apple, but he stuck to his work. "Hello, Tom," said Ben. "You have to work, eh?" "Why is you, Ben? I didn't notice you." "I say I'm going swimming. Don't you wish you could come?" "But of course you'd rather work, wouldn't you?" "Of course you would." Tom eyed the boy thoughtfully. "What do you call work?" "Why, isn't that work?" Tom filled his brush with whitewash and answered carelessly,
"Obtain."
"Well, perhaps it is, and perhaps it isn't, but it suits Tom Sawyer." "What? Do you mean to say that you like it?" The brush continued to move. "Like it? Well, I don't see why I should like it. A boy doesn't get a chance every day to whitewash a fence." Ben has never thought of this before. He took a bite out of his apple. Tom switched his brush artistically to and fro. Then he stopped back to note the effect. He added a touch here and there, and criticized the effect again. Ben was watching every move and getting more and more interested. "I say, Tom, let me whitewash a bit," said Ben precisely. Tom considered and was about to consent, but he changed his mind. No. You see, Aunt Polly very particular about this fan. Is it facing the street, you know? If it was the back fan, I wouldn't mind. And she wouldn't. Yes, she is very particular about this fan. It must be done very carefully. I don't think there is one boy in 1,000, perhaps 2,000, who can do it in the way it has to be done. Is that so? How interesting. Let me just try. Only just a little bit. I'll let you, if you were me, Tom. Ben, I like too, really. But Aunt Polly wouldn't like it. Tim wanted to do it, but she wouldn't let him. Sid wanted to do it, but she wouldn't let Sid. Now don't you see that I'm responsible? If you start to whitewash this fan and anything went wrong. Oh, nonsense. I'll be very careful. Now let me try. I say I'll give you my apple when I've nearly finished it. Well, no, Ben. I mustn't, I'm afraid. I'll give you all of it. Tom gave up the bread with unwillingness in his face but eagerness in his heart, while Ben worked and sweated in the sun. The retired artist sat on the barrel in the chest close by, ate his apple, and planned the downfall of more innocent victims. Boys saw right frequently. They came to mock and remind to whitewash. By the time Ben was tired out, Tom has promised the next chance to Bill Fisher for a car in good repair. When Bill retired, Johnny Miller bought his place for a dead rat and a string to swing it with. So the work went on, hour after hour. By the middle of the afternoon, Tom was wealthy. He has, beside the thing mentioned above, 12 marbles, a pair of spectacles without glasses, a piece of blue bottle glass to look through, a key that would not unlock anything, a piece of chalk, a tin soldier, 2 tiny frogs, a little cat with only one eye, a brush door handle, a dog collar, the handle of a knife, and an old window frame. He has a nice, ideal time and plenty of company, and the fan has 3 coats of whitewash on it. If he has not run short of whitewash, he would have stripped every boy in the village of his proudest possession. Tom said to himself that life was worth living after all. He has discovered, without knowing it, this great law of human action. In order to make a man or a boy desire a thing, it is only necessary to make the thing difficult to be obtained.